Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. Let me just move you more centre. How are you doing? Hope you are well. I'm going to show you around the plot. Looks a little bit different to the last time you saw it. It's been a productive year, I would say. Really sorry I haven't caught any of it, because when I do come down I have to get a lot done, and as much as I can done. But this video is a bit of a rant, I guess, against committees. So I was on the committee at this plot for just under 2 years. I did start on the committee at the beginning of April this year, but I left around about June, and I'll explain why. So I got this plot in June last year, so 2024, and if I can, I will put in a clip of what I took over. That's what I took over in April 24, and what I now have done, I think, is more than acceptable in a year. It's now 16 months because we're in August, September. I haven't got as much as I wanted to get done, but the summer we've just had, the floor was baking and you couldn't even dig it. Even a rotavator, which I'm going to show you a bit that I did rotivate, even the rotavator couldn't get through it properly. It was literally a few centimetres deep when I dug it, but I did it just to get the monkey off my back. However, that never happened. So we have inspections here every few months. I think it's meant to be 3 or 4 a year. Saying I was on the committee, I don't even remember it. But this year there's been no communication that we're going to get an inspection, which I suppose it's not in the rules that you have to, but you know, courtesy and all that. So I got a minor in June. So I got a minor in June saying it wasn't 75 cultivated. It isn't 75 cultivated, but I'm on my own. They know I only get here at weekends, and like, we've never been a stickler for the 75%. It's always been, if we can see you making progress. So I passed the first one April, and then June I got a minor. I argued that it was in a better state than it was in the April, and that I was making progress and I had solid plans. I invited 2 of the committee members to my plot, which one is the chairman and one's a treasurer. And I says, I know I haven't got as much done as I can. However, the ground's baked. You cannot dig it. You can't put a spade in it. And they progressed to tell me that they wanted me to do these certain things, and then they would be happy with that. One was cutting down some of the grass in the fruit bushes. Makes no sense to me, because the fruit bushes are there, so it's part of the 75%. Doesn't matter if there's grass in there. It's not up to them how it is, because if I want that to be a wild area with fruit bushes, I can have that. It's my plot. I rent this space. The other end, where this next winter I'm hoping to put in raspberries, and I'll show you that in a minute. That was a wild area. The grass was tall. We do allow wild areas on the plot to encourage wildlife. It seems I'm the only person that's not allowed a wild area because they moan there's too much grass. So that half was practically done, apart from the bed that I'm going to show you first, the big one that I borrowed the rotavator for and paid for, and that could hardly dig through it. But I was like, even if it can do a centimetre, it looks done. I'm happy with that. I'll just weed it every time anything comes up. So that's what I did. I did that. I did the bushes. I have purchased a polytunnel, but I'm not putting it up until spring next year because there's no point in overwintering it, not growing anything in there. I put 2 raised beds in, and I've dug a pond, and I'll show you that in a moment. I've kept the hedges good. They're a decent height. And again, I'll show you, apart from the back, they're not done yet, but I'll get round to that. Because this year they were putting in hedges into the inspections. They never have before, but this year it was changing because people weren't keeping on top of them. I always have, but apparently that doesn't get mentioned. Now, it isn't 75% cultivated. I 100% agree with that. However, like I said, we've never been a stickler for 75%. If we can see progress, we're happy, because, you know, the grass is always mowed, trimmed, it's always kept at a reasonable level, and progress you could see every time. Like, there were 0 beds in here when I took this over 16 months ago. There's now 1, 2, 3, 4, 7. You know, I'm on my own. I get down here at weekends, and that's about it. So the problem is, once you have somebody with a bug up their arse, as they clearly do, for some weird reason, I've given them no reason to, just they got rid of one person and then came to me for some reason, and now I'm a target for some bizarre reason. Now, if you do have this situation, because I do see on some of these Facebook pages that it does happen quite a lot, and I didn't think this committee was like that, but they clearly are, and once they've gone off me, they're going to somebody else, and God help them, because I'm a stickler. I will get to that 75% and they won't be able to do a thing then, as long as my rent's paid and that's all sorted. So yeah, I will show you around, and I want your honest opinions in the comments. If you think what I took on to what it is now would be acceptable in your eyes with an actual plan. And like I said, I brought them onto the plot and told them the full plan, and it's going to how I said. So I'm going to start here with the bed that I rotivated. So this wasn't here. So this bed's all in. I've just dug out the sides because it's just going to be easier to keep trimmed and stuff. So this is the one I went to dig and I couldn't, so that needs digging, and I'll do that next time I'm down. I've just dug all the sides into this one, so that is what that looked like the other day. This, and they said that weeds are taking over your beds. I don't think so. And then we've got this one, which has got potatoes and the, well, sweet corn and the beetroot in. And then this one does look, and I'll give them this one does look like it's been taken over by weeds, because it generally has, but there's potatoes under there. So, you know, that will all come out. And then the tomatoes are all here. This has got my beans and some leeks in there. And then, so this is what I'm doing right now. So this is going to be flowers. And this is all on the plans that I told them the other day. So this is all going to be flowers, this area. I already marked out where the polytunnel's going, which is there, which I believe is a 4 by 3 metre polytunnel. Marked out, ready. Already told them that I wasn't going to put it up and overwinter it. Why would you do that? This is the pond that I dug out on one of the hottest days of summer. It's quite clear today, and as you can see, it's quite deep. So all the soil from that is that row over there. Here, this is all from in here. Oh, and one of the raised beds has got some of that in. So there was this one raised bed in June, and then now I've put another 2 in. Fair play, that isn't actually in like with soil yet, but it will. I'm going to be taking the soil from over there. There's a mound of soil just over here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you back to the gate, and you can get a full view of what they got on the last time they did an inspection, because they couldn't get on my plot, although all they had to do was message me and ask for the code to the gate, but they didn't. And I'd already gave one of the members actually the code to my gate, and that's never been mentioned. So this is where the wild area was. This was all long grass. I cut it down last time I was here. This is where raspberries are going to go, next to the apples. The apples have done amazing, but the tree suffered. So here we go. So this is the view they had. And gave me a minor this time, the other day. So this is what the plot looks like. I'm going to get you a bit higher up. I think in a year, I think that's pretty acceptable. Like, I've cut down all the hedges and all this hedge. This hedge needs trimming again, but it has been cut down. And I've started, well, I've nearly took out all those trees, get the rest of those out this winter. So yeah, I want your honest opinion in the comments. If you don't think, even though we have a rule of 75%, yeah, we do. But like I said, we've always said if we can see progression, that's acceptable. But that's not been passed on to me for some reason. Took me two weekends building this hole in the hedge. There was a huge hole here. This was all a hole. You know, that's not been taken into account. You know, apparently things just do things magically around here. And the thing is, they're hypocrites. Because only one person that's on the committee after 12 months had done 75%, and that's because there were 3 of them. And they were here nearly every day. Now, if I had that sort of time to be down here, I'd definitely be on 75%, but I don't. And not everyone does, and I'm on my own. In fact, last June I was out of action for 3 months because I had a problem with my shoulder. I'm not sure if I put that in one of my videos. Probably did, because it was when I was doing that hedge. And I've got the issue again this year, but I've just gone through and carried on with it this year. So yeah. So the plan for next year, well, this winter, get this done, get the rest of that done now. That will all be done by I go home. Polytunnel will be up by April, probably around January-ish, depending on how frozen it is. I'm not 100% sure what I'm doing with this exact section. I want to put some like plants in here for pond life to live in, and then here I think I'm going to put pumpkins in for next year. And obviously I'm well within the 75%. Like I say, this is all the fruit bushes, so this needs all doing again. But they made me go in there and take out the grass, even though the fruit bushes are clearly there. Like, it doesn't matter if there's grass in there, that's up to me. I rent the space. Like, they were very pedantic in, I think that's the right word, in their last message. I turn around and says, so it's up to the committee to count the weeds in beds now then. See, I was been a dick, to be fair. I went, yeah, it is our job. So without access, they've given me another minor, which in the rules it does say it's a fail. However, again, we've never given anyone a fail in the 2.5 years that I was on there. I was vice chairman at one point. There's 2 plots that are next to me that we've never been able to get on because they work and they're busy, and that's fine, you know. One is 100% a fail every time you go on, but he's never had a fail or a minor. The other one's definitely been a minor for the last 2 years, but they've never had one. And my old plot, depending on how disgusting this gets, I'll bring up, because that is not 75% anywhere near. They've been there 14 months now, 2 months less than me. Why are they not getting them? Because they have a bee in the bonnet about me, and I have no idea what I've done wrong. I just want to be down here, enjoy my space, have a chat with people, and you know, enjoy it. But instead I'm stressing every time I come down that I need to get more and more and more done rapidly, even though you couldn't this summer. Everyone knows the summer we've just had. Couldn't get a spade in the ground. But yeah, that's my rant. I'm hoping to get more videos up. I do apologise that it's been so long since I've uploaded, but I don't like coming down and recording when next door's on the plot. It's not fair. And also, I feel like I'm rushing to get stuff done every time I'm here, and I don't feel like I have time to pick up the camera. But yeah, thanks for watching, and please do like and subscribe, and I will be back with you. I am trying to work on a project, but that's been stalled a bit, but we will see if we can get something on that soon as well. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. And if you are having problems with your committee, fight it all the way. Don't roll over. They want 75, give them 75. You do not have to be planted, it just has to be cultivated. It just has to be turned over. So literally put a spade in the ground and just flip it on its back end like this is. That's all I'm doing over here. I'm not digging it properly, I'm not taking the weeds out. I've not done that with any of these. I literally just turn it over and then let the rain and the winter hit it, and then go over it with a fork. And yeah, it's good. It works. Don't give up, and keep on digging. And I'll see you in the next video. Take care, guys.